coming back to my career, I started working for the National Cash Register Company in Rhodesia, which is now Zimbabwe. I was 19 years old, and I started working in 1962, and it was obviously a very new experience for me, because it's something that anybody who's just recently come out of school and suddenly moving into a high-tech company where the technology was basically analog computers. These were known as counting machines, which were doing all of the bookkeeping procedures, like debtors ledger, creditors ledger, the salaries and wages, stock control, and there were literally hundreds of thousands of these machines installed in various parts of the developed world, in the banks and commerce and industry, to do the various accounting procedures. This required a huge amount of manpower, or should I say women power, because it was women, young women, that were the operators of these machines. And they were very often trained in bookkeeping and accounting, because they needed to know the basics of the accountancy and so on that was required within the companies. And these operators, they were literally the mainstay of commerce and industry, because they did all of the back office work. And of course, 1960s saw the release of commercial computers, mainly in America, but also in the UK. So you had the companies starting up like IBM in the States, and in the UK it was International Computers, ICL, International Computers Limited. They were really the start of the commercial distribution of computers around the world. There were a couple of other big computer companies, but they were mainly working within government organizations and the military in both America and in Britain. Anyway, it wasn't long before IBM, Burroughs, ICL, and various other companies started to produce computers. Initially, they were very, very big machines, and they speeded up business accounting dramatically, and enabled companies to have far, far better control over their financial operations. Also, of course, it meant that they didn't have to employ hundreds of thousands of young women as operators on the former computing machines, like the accounting machines and the electromechanical accounting machines. And so computers around about the mid-1960s up to early 1970s were being distributed right across the whole of the Western world. And so that was really when the computer age started. And of course, from then on, it just escalated. And the computers progressively got bigger and bigger for a while. And then all of a sudden, with the advent of transistors and microelectronics, microcircuitry, and so on, they got smaller and smaller. But every year, the machines doubled in power or quadrupled in power. And this carried on until, in the end, you had very small back office computers and servers with tremendous power, which were connected online to terminals in the banks and building societies and government offices and so on, where you had people inputting information into the back office servers, and the back office servers were then relaying the information through to mainframe computers at the head office data centers, and there was an exponential growth in computers. And then, of course, it was only a matter of time before the advent of the personal computer, which started probably around about the mid-1980s, and from then on it just kept on growing and growing, and it ended up where initially, to have your own personal computer was like the in thing, but within 5 or 10 years, everybody had their own personal computers. And so personal computers by the year 2000 were almost as powerful as the mainframe computers of the 1980s, which gives you an idea of just how advanced the computer technology had become. Now, of course, in 2025, we're walking around with watches on our wrists, which are as powerful as a mainframe of the 1970s and 1980s. And iPhones and laptops and little desktop personal computers, which are hundreds of times more powerful than the mainframe computers of the 70s and 80s. Of course, it hasn't stopped there, because now we're moving into the era of IA. IA, I don't know. I think there's a tremendous amount of good that could come from IA. They're building systems now which have absolutely enormous processing power, with access to vast amounts of data, working at very, very high speeds. But where we are going with IA, I don't know. IA, is it? My apologies. It's not IA, it's AI. AI, artificial intelligence. Is it artificial intelligence, or is it alien intelligence? Because artificial intelligence means that it's not of a humanoid origin. It's artificial. But alien alien, I don't believe that we have aliens living out there in the heavens that could have any influence on us, because if there are aliens living out there, they are so far away that we will never ever meet up with them. So when I say alien intelligence is what we as humans have created. It's an alien intelligence on Earth created by humans. It's alien to us. And where it is going, I don't know, because this intelligence is being incorporated into robots and into almost every single aspect of our lives now, to the extent that within the next few years, we're going to become totally dependent on AI. The scary thing about it is that can we control it and prevent it from possibly actually taking over from us? Because already AI is starting to program itself. It has the ability to think and react on those thoughts. And if we start using this level of alien intelligence to control our military and our military and air forces and rockets and all the rest of it, and if the AI starts to make the decisions on how they are used, well, where do we go from there? This is very, very disturbing, because we just do not know. And we're going to have to build in tremendous amounts of controls and so on the development of AI, to ensure that we don't allow this technology to actually start replacing us and start taking over. At the moment, it looks like it is actually heading that way. So it'll be very interesting to see how things develop over the next 5 or 10 years. When I say 5 or 10 years, 5 or 10 years is nothing. It's just around the corner. But the AI is developing at such a rapid rate that in 5 years' time, it's going to be even far, far more advanced than what it is right now. And already what it is able to do is quite scary.